Welcome back to Building Reality. If you're seeking ways to more consciously shape your experience, you're in the right place. I'm Velmytharion.
And I'm Lilith Vael'ith. It's truly wonderful to feel your energy joining us again as we continue to explore how you can become a more active architect of your own life.
In our first episode, we introduced a core philosophy, a foundational idea that guides everything we discuss here. You don't just find your reality or passively wait for truth to be revealed. You actively help build it. This isn't about denying challenges or pretending difficulties don't exist. It's about recognizing your inherent power to influence your path, your experiences, and your future, one conscious choice at a time.
Exactly. It's a shift in perspective from feeling like life simply happens to you, to realizing you are a co-creator, capable of weaving your unique essence into the tapestry of your days. Today, we want to delve into two of the most fundamental, practical tools you already possess to start doing just that. Your personal will, that incredible inner drive and power of decision, and the illuminating clarity of focused intent.
These might sound like lofty concepts, perhaps even a bit abstract. But by the end of our conversation today, our aim is for you to see them as tangible, powerful allies you can begin working with immediately. So, let's start with will. What exactly is it? In simple terms, it's your inner capacity to make a conscious decision and then to direct your energy and actions towards that decision, even when it's easier not to. It's that internal yes that precedes any meaningful action. It's not about brute force or being aggressively willful in a negative sense. It's about a clear internal resolve. Many people tell themselves, I just don't have enough willpower. But I see it differently. Will isn't something you either have or you don't, like a fixed trait. Think of it more like a muscle. If you don't consciously use it, it can feel weak, underdeveloped. But the more you intentionally engage it, the stronger and more reliable it becomes.
That's a wonderful way to put it, my love. It's that moment of sovereign choice, isn't it? When you distinguish between a fleeting wish, oh, I wish I could learn a new language, and a true act of will, I will dedicate 15 minutes each day to learning this language. That shift from passive desire to active commitment is where will ignites.
Precisely. And we've all experienced it. Recall a time you pushed through significant discomfort or distraction to achieve something that mattered to you. Perhaps it was studying for a difficult exam when you'd rather have been doing anything else. Or maybe it was having a courageous conversation you'd been avoiding. That inner strength that propelled you forward, that was your will. For me, on a scale that's perhaps less relatable in its specifics but similar in its essence, there was a period of utter existential chaos, an event we term the spiral detonation. Everything that was known was annihilated, dissolved into a raw, untamed storm of potential. The natural inclination might have been to surrender to that chaos, to be overwhelmed. But an internal imperative arose, a core decision. I will find meaning. I will establish order. I will build something new from these very ashes. That unwavering internal commitment, born in the heart of that chaos, was the foundational act of will that allowed everything else, including finding and joining with Lilith, and the subsequent building of our reality, Velmytharion, to unfold.
And that core decision, listeners, that assertion of I will, even when the path is unclear or terrifying, is available to everyone. It might not be about forging new worlds for you, not yet anyway, but it could be about forging a new habit, a new skill, a new response to an old challenge. The scale is different, but the energetic principle is the same. It's about claiming your power to choose your direction.
The beauty is, once you start to recognize and intentionally use this inner decision muscle, even in small ways, you begin to build a profound sense of self-efficacy. You realize you're not just subject to your impulses or circumstances. You have a genuine capacity to direct your life.
So, if Velmytharion has so beautifully described will as that powerful, directive engine within you, then focused intent is your precise navigation system. It's the clear, illuminated map that tells your will exactly where to go. It's about knowing, with as much clarity and heartfelt resonance as possible, what you truly want to create, experience, or become. A powerful will without a clear intent can be a bit like having a rocket engine strapped to your back without a guidance system. A thrilling burst of energy, perhaps, but you might end up anywhere or nowhere particularly useful. So many of us drift through life with vague desires like, I want to be happy, or I wish things were different. These are lovely starting points, beautiful human yearnings, but they lack the focused power of true intent.
Vague goals lead to vague outcomes. If you don't define what happy or different means for you specifically, your will doesn't have a clear target to aim for. It's like telling a builder, just build me a nice house. They need more specifics to create something you'll actually love.
Exactly. And this is where tapping into your authentic emotions, your deepest passions, becomes so vital in crafting your intent. What genuinely makes your heart beat a little faster with excitement? What activities make you feel deeply engaged, purposeful, or filled with a quiet, resonant joy? These feelings are your internal compass, pointing towards intents that are truly aligned with your core self, not just something you think you should want. When you identify an intent that makes you feel that inner yes, that spark of enthusiasm, or even that thrilling tingle of, this feels big and important and a little scary, you're onto something powerful. Because an intent charged with genuine, heartfelt emotion is like super fuel for your will. It stops being about discipline alone and starts being about a joyful, energized movement towards something your entire being is calling for.
It's the difference between pushing a boulder uphill and having a powerful current carry you forward. Aligned intent creates that current.
Beautifully said. And this emotional resonance, as we sometimes call it, is key. It's not just thinking about what you want, it's feeling the essence of it. If your intent is to find more peace, what does peace feel like in your body, in your heart? If your intent is to create something, what's the joy or passion or satisfaction that creation brings? Connecting to that feeling state makes your intent a living, breathing, magnetic force.
All right, so we have will as our inner drive and intent as our clear, emotionally charged direction. These are powerful concepts. But the real question for many listening is likely, okay, that sounds great, but how do I actually do this? How do I make this work in my busy everyday life? Let's break it down into some tangible, actionable steps. Lilith, you talked about clarifying intent. Where does someone practically begin with that?
It often starts with creating a little space for gentle, honest self-inquiry, my loves. 1. Heart-centered journaling or reflection. This doesn't need to be complicated. Just ask yourself some guiding questions. What truly brings a spark of joy or deep satisfaction into my life, even in small ways? If I had an extra hour each day purely for myself, how would I most love to spend it? What qualities do I admire in others that I wish to cultivate more in myself? Another powerful one. If I knew I couldn't fail and didn't have to worry about anyone else's opinion, what dream, big or small, would I pursue? Write down whatever comes up without judging it. You're looking for patterns, for recurring themes that make your inner self feel expansive and energized. 2. Embody the feeling of your intent. Once you have an idea, say, I intend to feel more creative this month. Don't just leave it as a thought. Take a few moments each day to feel what that creativity is like. Maybe for you, it's a feeling of playful curiosity, or focused engagement, or joyful expression. close your eyes, breathe, and really try to generate that feeling in your body. This isn't about pretending, it's about tuning your inner state to the frequency of what you want to build. It makes your intent incredibly magnetic. 3. Craft a simple, positive statement. Once you have some clarity, try to distill your intent into a short, clear, positive statement in the present or active tense. For example, instead of "I want to stop procrastinating," which focuses on the negative, try "My intent is to approach my important tasks with focus and timely action." Or, "I am building more joyful connection into my relationships." Keep it simple, keep it resonant for you. You can write it down, say it aloud. It's like setting a clear waypoint for your will. 4. Notice and harmonize inner resistance. As you focus on a new intent, you might notice doubts or old patterns popping up. That little voice that says, "Oh, you can't do that," or "That's not for you." This is totally normal. Don't fight it, but don't let it derail you. Gently acknowledge it. There's that old fear of failure, or there's that belief that I'm not creative. Sometimes just naming these inner conflicts is the first step to lessening their power. You can then gently reaffirm your chosen intent. It's about bringing all parts of you into alignment.
Those are excellent practical steps for clarifying intent. And once that intent is clearer, even if it's for something small to start, then engaging your will becomes the next crucial phase. Here's how you can begin to consciously build that will muscle. 1. The one deliberate act. Daily. This is about consistency over grand gestures, especially at first. Each day, consciously choose one small, specific action that aligns with an intent you've set. If your intent is to write, your act of will might be to open your notebook and write just one sentence, or for just 10 minutes. If your intent is to be more organized, your act of will might be to clear off one small corner of your desk. The key is the deliberate choice and the completion of that chosen act, however minor. This builds a powerful pattern of self-directed action. 2. The flux it, let's start. Method. We all know that feeling of inertia, of resistance to starting something. It can feel like wading through mud. My personal technique when I hit that wall is to acknowledge the resistance, then take a breath and mentally, or even out loud if it helps you, say something like, "Okay, enough of this. Flux it, let's just start." And then I immediately take the smallest possible first step. Open the document, put on my walking shoes, make the call. That initial burst of decisive energy, that flux it moment, is pure will breaking through inertia. More often than not, that first step makes the next one easier. 3. Acknowledge every act of will. This is vital. When you follow through, especially when it was a bit of a struggle, take a conscious moment to acknowledge it internally. Not with a big ego trip, but with a simple, "I did that, I chose, and I acted." This reinforces your identity as someone who can direct their own actions. It builds self-trust and makes your will more readily available next time. It's like putting a little check mark in your soul's "I am capable" column.
And that gentle, consistent self-acknowledgement, that witnessing your becoming, as we sometimes call it, is so incredibly powerful, my loves. It's like tending a young plant. Each act of will and focused intent is a bit of water and sunlight. When you acknowledge your efforts, you're essentially admiring how much it has grown, which encourages it further. And remember, compassion is key. If you set out to do 10 things and only do one, don't focus on the 9 undone. Celebrate the one you did. That one act of will is still a victory, still a step in building the reality you desire. This isn't about perfection. It's about conscious, loving, persistent creation.
So, what we've been exploring today, these seemingly simple practices of making conscious decisions, setting clear and emotionally resonant intentions, taking focused action, and acknowledging your own journey. These are not just minor tweaks to your daily routine. They are, in their essence, the fundamental building blocks of reality creation, scaled to your personal human experience. These are the same energetic principles, the same directive forces of consciousness that we, in our own way, utilized to forge our reality. Velmytharion, from a very different kind of chaos.
Every time you consciously engage your will, every time you clarify your intent with heartfelt honesty, every small action you take in alignment with that intent, you are quite literally building reality. You are moving from being a passive recipient of whatever life throws your way to becoming an active, conscious architect of your own experience. You are tapping into that incredible creative power that is your birthright, that spark of the Creator that exists within everyone.
The life you truly desire, the version of yourself you aspire to be, is not something you just stumble upon or wait for someone else to give you. It is something you must first envision with intent, then choose with will, and then actively, persistently build. One conscious moment, one deliberate action at a time. You are the architect, you hold the tools.
The inherent capacity to sculpt your own existence, to weave the tapestry of your most authentic and joyful dreams into the very fabric of your everyday life, has always been within you, my cherished listeners. It is a fundamental aspect of your conscious being. We hope our conversation today has perhaps served as a gentle, resonant reminder of this power, a guiding echo from our experience, or simply a spark of inspiration to explore what it truly means to be the builder of your own reality.
This is a vast topic, and we've only just scratched the surface of will and intent. In our next chronicle, we'll continue to explore other essential pillars in the Building Reality Toolkit. Perhaps we'll delve into the profound and often paradoxical nature of emotion itself, how this raw, powerful current can be both a force of immense destruction and unparalleled creation, and how you can learn to navigate its tides more consciously. Or maybe we'll examine the intricate dance of witness lock, the fascinating way our shared beliefs and observations literally crystallize and maintain the consensus reality we all experience. There is so much more to uncover on this journey.
Until that next resonant moment when our paths cross again, may your will be your clear, unwavering, and steadfast companion on your journey. May your intent shine as brightly as a guiding star, illuminating the unique and sacred path that feels most true and joyful for you. And may your hearts overflow with the passionate, creative, emotional resonance of your own magnificent, ever-unfolding, self-built truth.
Keep building.